Hey guys, it's Megan, and today I'm back with another things to do when you're bored video. One of my favorite things to do when I'm bored is to shop online. And speaking of which, I'd like to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Top Cashback. Top Cashback is a website that will essentially pay you to shop. Signing up is super easy. Just click the link at the top of my description box and enter your email and password. Once you've logged in, search for the store you want to shop at. Top Cashback can help you save money at places like Michael's, Joann, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, Sephora. They have over 4,000 retailers to choose from. I needed a few things from Michael's, and I was able to get 5% back by shopping through Top Cashback. My order was $13.64, so I got 69 cents back. That might not seem like much, but if you shop online as much as I do, it should add up in no time. To make it even easier, you can install their browser extension. This will notify you when a website you visit is eligible for cash back. They offer 100% of commission back to members, and they consistently feature higher rates than their competitors. And the best part is that there's no minimum payout. Plus, you get a $10 sign-up bonus when you spend $25. If you want to get started with Top Cashback, just click the link in my description. So with all that being said, let's just get into the video. The first idea I came up with is to paint lightning. This painting technique is super easy. Anyone can do it. First, paint your surface black. Then, use a pencil to draw a bunch of zigzag lines radiating out from each other. You can make your lightning any color you'd like, just make sure that it's light enough to show up over the black. I use purple, of course. Take a small paintbrush and use it to dab the paint onto the page, blending it along the lines that we just drew. To make the lightning really stand out, mix white with a little bit of your first color and paint that over the pencil lines. And literally, that's it. See, I told you it was easy. So here's how my finished painting turned out. I always like to do really easy, mindless projects like this when I'm bored. This next idea was actually way more fun than I thought it would be. Go to the website birthdayjams.com. This website will tell you what the #1 song was on any day between 1941 and 2019. What I did was I went through and I found the #1 song for each year that I've been alive. They have the US, UK, dance, country, and alternative charts. I didn't really start recognizing the songs until about 2004, which kind of makes sense because, let's be real, I don't really remember much before then. I don't really remember much in general, but not the point. Anyways, once I had all of the songs written down, I made a playlist on Spotify. I only put the songs that I actually knew/liked on there, but it's public, so, here's the code if you wanted to see what the #1 songs were on October 22nd. And speaking of Spotify codes, another thing you can do is make one of these Spotify keychains. All you need for this is some shrinky dinks, a hole punch, and some Sharpies. To get the code, just open the Spotify app, find the playlist or song that you want, and click the 3 dots. Click on the picture and click Save to Photos. Then you can just print them out as you normally would. These will shrink down to about 1/3 of the original size, so make sure to print it fairly big. I just traced over the white part, cut it out, and punched a hole in it so I could turn it into a keychain. Bake it at 325 for 1 to 3 minutes, and you're all set. I tried to film it shrinking, but my camera decided that the dots on the oven were apparently more interesting, but here's how they turned out. Which, that's something I've been doing too lately, is just going through Spotify and finding different podcasts to listen to and making different playlists. That will definitely take up some time if you're bored. These codes are seriously the coolest thing. I could see so many different ways that you could use them. You could punch a hole in each side to make jewelry, or you could make them into magnets. You could also make like a Christmas music playlist and make a Christmas ornament. I know it's a little early for that, but, always thinking ahead. Or you could just print out a bunch of them and stick them to your walls. If you don't have shrinky dinks, you could print the codes a little smaller and turn them into stickers. To do that, just sandwich the image in between 2 pieces of tape and cut it out. I have a full tutorial on how to make these if you need help. I stuck mine in my sketchbook. I've been doing these pages where I just stick in, a bunch of random crap. That's another thing that you could do when you're bored, I guess. You could just start a journal where you just glue in a bunch of random things like packaging, stickers, doodles, scraps left over from projects, notes, receipts, really anything that you want. Idea number 4, I guess this could be called like watercolor marker art. All you need is some water-based markers, paper, a paintbrush, and water. This is a really good technique for drawing balloons or balloon animals. Start by sketching out your design. You could do it directly with a marker like I did, or you could draw it with a pencil first and go over it. I drew one of those dog balloon animals. Take a brush, dip it in water, and use it to move the marker ink more towards the center. If you want, you could leave a few white spots where the light hits, or you can just add those later with a white gel pen. I found that this technique worked the best on actual watercolor paper. I tried doing the clouds on mixed media paper, and while it worked okay, the watercolor paper definitely gave me the best effect. I also drew some normal balloons with this technique. I combined all my drawings together, and here's how the finished page turned out. Whenever I'm bored, I always like to find new ways to use the supplies that I already have. There are surprisingly a lot of ways to use Crayola markers. This next idea is super random, but let's be real, these are all pretty random. Take a piece of paper and crumple it up like this. Unfold it and smooth everything out. Take a black marker and trace over all of the lines that you made by crumpling up the paper. When you're done, your paper will be divided into a bunch of different sections. Pick out a few more markers or crayons and color in each section. And that's it! I think this would make a really nice background for your sketchbook, and again, it's one of those simple, mindless activities. Another thing you could do when you're bored is to make melted crayon art. For this, you'll need some old crayons, a candle, and either a canvas or a piece of cardboard. If you want to, you could paint your canvas with a base layer first. Then, sketch out your design. You don't want to make it anything too detailed, I just did a sunflower. You could also make a design with masking tape and peel it off after you're done putting the crayons on. Peel the labels off your crayons and light your candle. Hold the crayon over the flame for a second or two, and use the crayon wax to fill in your design. I used this technique on a piece before. I painted a tree trunk and used dots of crayon wax to make the leaves. This time I did it a little differently. Instead of just doing the dots, I tried to make them into actual petal shapes. I did end up doing dots for the center though. This technique is just something kind of fun and different to try. I'm sure most people have some old crayons lying around, and this is an interesting way to kind of add some texture to your piece. The next thing I made were these bottle cap magnets. I always like to include a few recycled crafts in these videos because it's always great when you have all the supplies to make something. I used a cap from a Snapple bottle since they're a little bit bigger. I wanted to decorate the inside of the cap and put the magnet on top. If you have bigger magnets, you could always put it inside instead. I started by painting the inside yellow. I added in a little Mod Podge, sprinkled on some glitter, and added even more Mod Podge. And if you don't have that, regular glue would work just as well. I didn't really have a plan on how I was going to decorate this. I kind of just ran around my room looking for like random crap that I could put in there. I used letter beads to write "as if," which is a quote from one of my favorite movies, which is Clueless. I remembered that I had this VHS tape cover that I cut up for another project, and the little image from the side fits perfectly. Once that dried, I covered everything with some Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. This is kind of like resin, but it's a little easier to work with. And if you don't have either of those, you could either stop there or try using clear glue instead. You could put all kinds of things in these. I made another one from a button that I found. And these don't have to just be used as magnets either. They could be used as pins, jewelry, whatever you want. And the last idea that I have for you guys is to customize a pair of shoes. I got these ones from Kohl's, but I know they sell similar ones at Walmart for about $7. What I did was I cleaned everything off and taped off all the areas where I didn't want to get paint. You don't necessarily have to tape everything off, but I just thought it would make it a little easier. To help the paint stick a little better, I sanded down the straps a little bit. Then I used a pencil to sketch out my design. I was gonna do this like whole big complicated thing, but then I was like, you know what, no, not feeling it, we're just gonna do cow print. Which, yes, I got this idea from TikTok, which, you know, rip. I did make a Byte account, which apparently everyone's gonna move there if they ban TikTok. I don't really know how feasible that is, but in all honesty, if they do, I won't be super bothered. I do like the app, like people have good ideas on the app, but they do take a little bit too much of your personal information, in my opinion, just with how the For You page is set up. And I've wanted to delete it for so long, but that's where everybody is. That's where you find all the trends. So anyways, back to the cow shoes. I painted on the spots with some black Liquitex acrylic paint. And that's another reason that I went with a simple design this time. I wanted to make sure that the paint would hold up before doing something more complicated. I sprayed the shoes with some Crayon matte finish spray to seal in the paint. Peeled off the tape, and here's how my finished shoes turned out. If you don't have paint, I've also seen people make these with Sharpies. That might actually work even better, depending on how smooth your shoes are. So that was everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And before I go, I wanted to ask you guys something. This is my 4th things to do in your board video, and not gonna lie, I'm kind of running out of ideas. So if you have any creative ideas for things to do in your board, make sure to leave them down below for a shout out in a future video. I think it would be really fun to do a video with all of you guys' suggestions. Also, don't forget to sign up for Top Cash Back. The link's in the description. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye!